What these organizations do basically, they set benchmarks for the IELTS. Most of the countries, European countries, where the English is not the first language, not even only the second language.
How do you conduct the classes?
I have already started my physical classes in around Vietnam area and Nigambo area. IELTS is the most prominent and most profound English language testing system in the world.
So, who benefits from IELTS? Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about English. English is a universal language. As you know, it is very important to our lives. Today, I want to introduce Mr. Sheran Fernando, who is instructor IELTS in Sri Lanka, and he is going to tell us how important English and IELTS. Hello, Mr. Sheran.
Hi, good morning.
Welcome to Mono TV. So, Mr. Sheran, can you please explain us what is IELTS?
The IELTS acronym actually stands for the International English Language Testing Systems. It is designed to assess the English language proficiency of a candidate who wishes to migrate, who wants to pursue higher studies, who wants to go for a professional course, or maybe for immigration purposes, likewise. Most of the time, if you would be going through this most recent inquiries that has been put into IELTS, let's talk about the recognition of IELTS for a fact. The recognition of IELTS, it comes as this. Most of the time, IELTS is being accepted as an entry qualification for the profoundness of English. That is through universities, colleges, polytechnics, immigration authorities, employers, most of the time multinational corporations, government agencies, and also professional bodies. For example, I would put it like this. Immigration authorities, if you would say, UK visa process, UK visa in general terms, would take up IELTS as an entry qualification for the profoundness of English. And also professional bodies, if you talk, you can say Ministry of Health, that is UK Ministry of Defense. So UK Ministry of Defense would take up IELTS as an entry qualification for the profoundness of English. And professional bodies, if you take Nuangi, Australian and UK medical associations, they take IELTS as a proof of their English language proficiency. And who holds IELTS? That's one of the most, unhidden question for most of the students. And it is being co-owned by the British Council, IELTS Australia, and the Cambridge Assessment English. These are the institutions that co-owning the IELTS examination as a body. What these organizations do basically, they set benchmarks for the IELTS examination, and they monitor and they maintain the standards of the IELTS examination. And what they do mostly is upgrading and reviewing the examination from time to time so that it caters to the relevant targeted community, that is the IELTS candidates. And who writes IELTS test questions? There's also another most hidden questions that's been sought out by most of the students. I would say IELTS is being written by IELTS test questions are being written by mostly experts on the field who are affiliated with the IELTS authority. And I would just share with you a quick fact. That is, most of the countries, European countries, where the English is not the first language, not even only the second language, they take up IELTS as the entry qualification for the universities. This because that IELTS is the most prominent and most profound English language testing system in the world. And I would say more than 10,000 institutions around the globe, including immigration authorities, they take up IELTS as their entry qualification for the, they take up IELTS as the English language proficiency standard and benchmark authority of English. And also, I would say, and when you can take up this IELTS course, it's also a question that's been sorted out by most of the students. You can take IELTS in Sri Lanka. If you take, I'm based in Sri Lanka basically. So you would say IELTS has been taken up by four times a month, up to 48 times a year in Sri Lanka. If you take an on average calendar. So Nwangi, in that sense, on every Thursdays and every Saturdays, IELTS examinations are being conducted in 17 test locations and also 9 test center locations in Sri Lanka, including Colombo, Golden, all the major, covering all the major cities and provinces. And I would say, rather comparatively, the difference between computer delivered IELTS, computer delivered, there is a distinction between Nwangi, computer delivered IELTS, and also paper based IELTS. That is also one of the key questions being answered, being sought out by most of the students. The reason being, most of the time the students are very much conversant with their keyboard, I mean in the laptop or desktop keyboard abilities, which means typing skills. So in that regard, computer-based IELTS would come in handy for most of the students. That is because Nwandi, if you do take IELTS, computer-based IELTS, you are not supposed to waste your time on writing. I would say not a waste of timing most of the time. That is the time that you consume for typing speed, typing on the keyboard, and you feed the answers on listening, reading, writing segment of parts of IELTS. And also, if you say the conventional speaking part, it remains the same. It just remains the same, and without much alteration, it's been conducted by, performed by rather, a trained IELTS examiner face to face. So the only distinction between the four part of IELTS segments and all with the in the computer based and paper based, the distinction that amounts to the speaking part of the IELTS. And if you go more further deep into this question, the distinction between IELTS paper based versus computer delivered IELTS, this could be an advantage. This is not just a mere distinction. The advantage is, Nuangi, you would say more dates available, more flexibility is there, and also the venues you choose from, more venues to choose from, apart from the conventional venues you have in Sri Lanka, and also the test release days that amounts to 3 to 5 days in comparison to the 14 days that take up for the IELTS paper-based question papers. Let's look about the similarities between the computer-based versus paper-based IELTS. In terms of content, in terms of timing, in terms of the question types, in terms of scoring and speaking test delivery, and also the test report form, also the resource verification, there is a certain similarities between. There are not a certain actually definite similarities between these two options.
So, as you described about IELTS,
Yeah.
who can get benefits from that?
Well, no, again, I would say like this. Most of the time, those who wish to go for foreign country for education purposes, they would get benefit. And apart from that, Nuangi, most of the time, those who want to migrate for a foreign country or a territory where English is being spoken as a first language or second language, I might say, they might get benefit from this IELTS. But I would rather go attributing to a question and making for the inroads to your questions, I would say for those who want to go for post undergraduate courses, for postgraduate courses, and those who seeking for professional development courses, they must take IELTS, which version? That is IELTS academic version. And for those who want to migrate and those who want to study for a below undergraduate level, that is secondary education, and for those who want to go for a training program, they should take IELTS general version, GT version of IELTS. That is the norm, or that is the conventional way of taking IELTS those who are getting benefit from the IELTS.
So, is there any alternatives for IELTS?
Definitely yes, Miss Luangi. Recently, most of the time, I would say towards from like from a decade or so, PTE has become prominent. But I would say like this, PTE stands for the Pearson Test of English. That has been popular among the students from the recent time. And apart from that, you would say the TOEFL. That's been originated by the or being handled by the US states. That's also been in prominence also. That's been compared to the IELTS as well. And also another example called TOEIC. That's been mostly been done by the students and also the professionals, those who want to pursue not course actually, those who want to go for a professional work. That's the allowance for the IELTS.
So, how do you conduct the classes?
For the time being, I'm been stationed in Vennapo in Sri Lanka. That's a very developed city in Sri Lanka, and I have planned to start my online classes as well, and that will be most probably happening within the next few months, I would say. And apart from that, I have already started my physical classes in around Vennapo area and Nigambo area, which is also another city in Sri Lanka. And I would like to cater for my service to most of the students around the globe. I mean, I would reckon I am qualified enough to take up this challenge I take up this as a challenge actually. Going. Yeah.
So, I'm pretty sure our viewers, I mean, many more students are now watching this episode who are likes to know what are the qualifications that you have to lecture IELTS.
Yeah, no. I would say that without qualification, you just can't do anything at all at any cost. In my perspective, qualifications matter greatly. But more than that, Nuangi, I would say the experience, the exposure, and also the first-hand experience comes and gets validated in big time for mentoring for a course like this. I and I also say I have taken up this course on by myself some time back when I was trying to make it to UK. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out to be. But I would say in that experience which I took up in 2008, that amounted me to think for a fact that I would take up this course not as a challenge to lecture for. So that dream has come true right now, and I have started lecturing for IELTS, and I'm so happy with that situation. And I would say the main qualification that I possess is the teacher training college, St.George teacher training college, accredited course that is specially designed for IELTS lecturers, and I have an A plus mark for that with final assignment and all that. And apart from that, I would say I have worked with several firms in Sri Lanka where English is being taught as a second language, and also where the English is being taught for the purposes of different purposes. Where I would say like business English, and also I would say for business for adults and for young adults also. And I would say yeah, I guess I have profound and sound knowledge about English and to cater for a market like this, market segment like this. I mean, this is a market segment that requires my capacity as a lecturer to cater for their needs.
How much qualified our instructor, Mr. Sheran? So I can see his London Teacher Training College certificate. Can you explain this for us?
Yeah, no, this is actually was taken by London Teacher Training College, accredited by London Teacher Training College, and it is actually I have got a distinction. You can say I have got a distinction for this dissertation and finalization and everything. And this is the most benchmark qualification to attain in Sri Lanka for a person who is for a lecturer who wants to lecture IELTS. So this is very validated certificate.
So, and he has a diploma in law, and I'm happy to tell you guys he is a second year student.
Yes, of Law College of Sri Lanka.
Law College of Sri Lanka. He's a second year student, and also he has many more certificates about his
Interject a bit. Then I have been
activities.
I have been doing a lot of extracurricular activities. But not being a studious student in college by the school I school too. I was involved in many extracurricular activities. I was the debating team. I was involved in many sports. You can see my certificates where I have excelled in many sports. Apart from cricket player, I was also in cricket team as well. I was a good badminton player. I can see my certificates over there, and also I would say I would claim myself a oral character in aggregate.
This is our very first interview about English and IELTS. And I'm thanking to Mr. Sheran on behalf of Monra TV. And I wish you all the very best and good luck.
Thank you so much.
So guys, if anyone like to contact Mr. Sheran and would like to know about IELTS and about English, you can click the comment below. Thank you for watching this episode. We will meet you again with another educational episode. Thank you. And don't forget to subscribe our channel. Goodbye.